This is Missy in the City, and of course, as you know, I am Missy. This is the fourth episode of Missy in the City, and being that it's a very, very lovely Monday, and we're all over our Monday blues, of course, I talk about mummies and babies today, and of course I'm just going to start off with the most amazing news. Now, if you remember my first vlog, which was a couple of weeks, maybe a couple months ago, where I spoke about the fact that I just heard the most amazing news, but I wasn't able to reveal it then, and she herself has revealed it today. The great news was that Okiki Marino, who I'd interviewed back in 2015 when I was at Pulse, and she's just given birth to a set of beautiful twins, a boy and a girl. How amazing is that? Now, if you recall, but if you don't, I'll refresh your memory. Okiki had a lot of difficulty getting pregnant, and she lost her fallopian tubes, and things had to be taken out. I will put the link below of the original interview that we actually had, which was then picked up by Bella and Naija, and which made a lot of women just sort of start speaking up. One thing Okiki did say to me is that a lot of women reached out to her after that interview, so there now was birthed a forum where people could talk about these things. And the day that I spoke to Okiki, I recall us talking about, this was just a couple of months ago when she was pregnant still, before she had the babies. I recall us talking on the phone about how that interview allowed her to speak up about her pain, which also then allowed a bunch of other women to get in touch with her to talk about these things. And ironically, that week there was a seminar that was being held about women talking about miscarriages and stillbirths and the difficulties, various women had with regards to getting pregnant and the journeys that they had been going through. It was quite riveting, considering the fact that I was speaking to Okiki. I'd heard the news, and she swore me not to say a word to anybody. But I was just so ecstatic. I was so excited, and but unfortunately, in that period of time, I couldn't actually say anything. But then, of course, I'm very glad to say today that she's posted it up herself on her Instagram page that she's had her baby. So she looks absolutely beautiful in the pictures, and the picture is from when she was 7 months pregnant. I'm just totally extremely happy for Okiki. Congratulations to the Marino family on your additions to the family, and congratulations for receiving such beautiful blessings from the Lord. Okay, so there it is. There was that big news, and of course we're talking mummies, babies, marriages. Yes, we definitely have to talk about that. So I want to show you some exciting things that I got, okay? Because the last time when I spoke to you, I was showing you some books with regards to how to, get baby to sleep, and between six weeks to 3 months, basically. And I recommended the books and the kind of book that I used when I was pregnant, and how I sort of just went through all of it. I found these books today. They're so cute. Look at their sizes, okay? Well, this one is Don'ts for Wives. Oh, bloody hell. Yes, I know, NEPA just won't let me be great, alright? Okay, so this is Don't for Wives, and this is Don't for Husbands. Okay, these are just two, we're gonna just look at this and figure out what these people are saying. This, by the way, they're both from 1913. I found these in my parents-in-law's house, so we'll look at that and see how relevant that is today. Then I found this book. It's called The Rules. I don't know, can you see that? Yes. The Rules. It says, Time-Tested Secrets for Capturing the Heart of Mr. Right. Okay, so that's for the girls. And this is how you're going to get your guy. So we're going to go through this. And we're going to go through this over a couple of weeks, basically. Well, not a couple of weeks, because it has, let me see. It has a couple of chapters. No, it has 7. Ooh, wee. It's got 35 chapters. So each chapter is a rule. Like, for example, let me give you some examples of what it says. First, it starts with the history of the rules. So there are 4 chapters about the history of the rules. What are the rules? meet a rules girl, and but first the product you. Then it goes on to be a creature unlike any other. Don't talk to a man first, and don't ask him to dance. Oh my god, this is going to be amazing because of course we are in the millennium and things are done a little bit differently now. Okay, so, and what else is there? Let's see. The last one says be easy to live with. Now, how many of us can actually testify to that? Now, when it says be easy to live with, I'm sure that what it's saying there is you're married at this period of time. So maybe this shall be the journey. Every Monday, this should be part of the journey that we're talking about of how to get married. And I'm going to come at you with the rules, and then, we'll take it from there. Then there's this book. I don't know how I got this book. I don't know how I came in possession of this book. But this book, right, is a book that men have used. It's a New York Times best-selling author, Neil Strauss, and it's called The Game. Penetrating the Secret Society of Pickup Artists. Again, I swear, I really have no clue how I came across this book. I sort of black out sometimes. My memory is quite bad. Okay, so I'm just gonna, let's take a look through and see what it's about. Now, it's dedicated to the thousands of people I talked to in bars, clubs, malls, airports, grocery stores, subways, and elevators over the last 2 years. If you're reading this, I want you to know that I wasn't running game on you. I was being sincere. Really, you were different. Oh my goodness, this is so exciting. Okay, let's see. So, see, here's the thing. I'm going to teach you ladies how to catch that man, and then we're going to reveal the secrets of how the men are catching us and what they're doing, so you can look out for the signs and basically stop them or, play them at their own game. That's what we're going to do. Fantastic. And then, of course, we're going to figure out, we just need to make everything work. Don't for wives and don't for husbands. So these are for the wives and for the husbands, and these are for the men and the women about to get married, right? Okay, fantastic. All right, so let's just start off with a little snippet right now. I'll start off with, I think what I'll do every week is maybe read 3 from each book. Okay, so let's, of course, ladies first all the time. Ladies first, ladies first. This is by Blanche Ebu. 1913, all rights reserved. Wow. 1913. Okay, so number 1, personalities. Don't think that there is any satisfactory substitute for love between husband and wife. Respect and esteem make a good foundation, but they won't do alone. Don't be surprised if you have married for money or position or fame that you get only money or position or fame. Love cannot be bought. Don't think that because you have married for love, you can never know a moment's unhappiness. Life is not a bed of roses, but love will help to extract the thorns. Okay, so that's number 1. Number 2, don't for wives. Don't expect life to be all sunshine. Besides, if there are no clouds, you will lose the opportunity of showing your husband what a good chum you can be. Don't look at the black side of the cloud. It's only a shadow cast by the silver lining. Don't lose heart when life seems hard. Look forward to the corner you are bound to turn soon and point it out to your husband. Don't moralize by way of winning back the love that seems to be waning. Make yourself extra charming and arrange delicious dinners which include all your husband's favorite dishes. Number 3, don't put showy qualities before honesty and uprightness in your husband. Don't despise sound common sense because he doesn't indulge in brilliant inspirations. Don't expect your husband to have all the feminine virtues as well as all the masculine ones. There would be nothing left for you if your other half were such a paragon. Don't be troubled because your husband is not an Adonis. Beauty is only skin deep, and the cleverest men are rarely the handsomest, judged by ordinary standards. Those are the first 3 rules. Okay, they're very interesting because these rules don't actually, these aren't rules. These are I don't know, they're don'ts anyway. They're rules, I guess. they're not as archaic as I thought they would be. And to be honest with you, I'm going to be reading this for the first time as I'm talking to you. They're not as archaic as I thought they were going to be. So, and they seem right now to be quite relevant to modern day, to whatever it is that's going on here. So don't forget, it's from 1913, but so far so good. Everything seems to be, okay. Let me break it down into layman's terms, if that was a little bit too difficult for some people. Okay, don't think there's any satisfactory substitute between love. So basically, if you marry for money, position, fame, you will get money, position, fame. The love won't happen, okay? Because that's what you got married for, so you're not going to be working on anything else. You marry for money, yeah, you'll get your money, you'll get your position, you'll get your fame, but don't think that you guys are now going to fall in love if that's all you're focused on. That, at the end of the day, makes a lot of sense. Okay, and then don't think that because you married for love, there will never be bad times. There are always ups and downs in life, but you just have to get on with it. As far as you're in love with somebody, there you put in the effort to actually make it work. So far, number one, fantastic, very on point. Okay, now number two says, don't expect life to be all sunshine, which is very true, because even when you're single, life isn't all sunshine. If there are no clouds, how will you know? Okay, wait, it says, if there are no clouds, you will lose the opportunity of showing your husband what a good chum you can be, right? Because I think this is almost like one of those sayings, a friend in need is a friend indeed, and during those bad times is when you be there for your husband, to support your husband. Don't always look at the dark side, try and see the silver lining, and when life seems hard, look forward to it. One of the things that I have to say, my mother-in-law always says, she always goes, this too shall pass. And I've actually taken that on board. This too shall pass. Whatever the bad situation may be happening, it will pass. It's not the end of the world. It will always pass. And then don't moralize by way of winning back the love that seems to be waning. Make yourself extra charming and arrange delicious dinners, which include all your husband's favorite dishes. Okay, you see, this is where the modern girl comes in. You don't have to be slaving away in the kitchen. Just get the cook to make all his favorite dishes, and then he can come home, and then you can be dressed all very prettily, and you've done your makeup, and you've done your hair, and he comes in, and he'll go take his shoes off, and you can grab his briefcase or whichever one it is that you want to do. But because he's your husband, and you know exactly what you're going to do to make him feel nice and comfortable, to make him forget about the hard day that's happened, or to just sort of alleviate the problems for just a little bit, if that may be the case. Okay? Yes. And then the final rule for this evening, don't put showy qualities before honesty and uprightness in your husband. I'm thinking that might lean towards the fact of don't be brash and abrasive, and then don't despise sound common sense because he doesn't indulge in brilliant inspirations. I can totally connect to this because I'm one of those people who'll be all like, oh my god, I have the most amazing idea, and I'm like talking about it and I'm getting so inspired. So like I'm all inspired and I'm all like, yes, this idea is amazing and this and that and whatever, and he just sort of looks at me, he's like, yeah, but I don't think that's going to work. And have you thought about this? And have you thought about that? And then I get upset because I'm thinking to myself, you don't believe in me. You're not supporting my idea. And what this is pretty much even saying is, do not despise sound common sense, because a man just gives you sound common sense. The man is supposed to give you sound common sense, right? And you're supposed to be the artsy-fartsy one that's very inspired by all the fluff in the clouds. That really doesn't pertain these days, I don't think. Not everywhere. One just can't generalize to say every woman is like this and every man is like that, but we're just taking the basic sort of stereotypes here, I guess, right? Don't expect your husband to have all the feminine virtues as well as all the masculine ones. There would be nothing left for you if the other half were such a paragon. Maybe meaning men shouldn't cry. Men shouldn't be emotional, and don't be upset if men aren't crying and if they aren't emotional, because then what would be left for you? Again, this is 1913. Men are now allowed to actually express themselves without losing, the fact that they're men, without just losing the essence of being a man is what the word I was looking for, essence. And then finally, don't be troubled because your husband is not an Adonis. Beauty is only skin deep, and the cleverest men are rarely the handsomest, judged by ordinary standards. Okay, how do I put this? I don't agree with that at all. Why? Because I love me some eye candy, okay? I really do, because there have been times when I've been pissed off and I just sort of look over and I'm like, okay, you're kind of fine. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, yes, the looks, that's not going to help anything at the end of the day, regardless of whatever is going on behind the how shall I put it, behind the armor. Or beauty is only skin deep at the end of the day, and that should not be the be all and end all. That's very, very important. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. So far, so good. So far, I'm kind of loving this. So let's see what it's saying about the men. I'm going to need a guy to sort of come and sit with me and dissect this with me. Laddie won't do it. Trust me. He'll be like, what are you talking about? Okay. Oh, wait. There's a preface here that it's starting off, my dear sir. I'm wondering if there's one here for women as well. I think there is. Okay, let me read this. Yeah, this might be another long vlog. Okay, art is a hard mistress, and there is no art quite so hard as that of being a wife. Amen to that. So many women exhaust their artistic power in getting married, which is after all, a comparatively easy business. It takes a perfect artist to remain married in the perfect sense of the term, but most of us have to be content to muddle through. Imagine a girl called upon Imagine a girl called upon without a single lesson to produce a tune, a lot of tunes in fact, one never-ending succession of harmonies from the most difficult instrument in the world. Know that the instrument not only gets grumpy in cold weather and skittish in the spring, not only slacks or breaks its strings with every change of temperature, but becomes tempestuous over a tight shoe, broody over an out-of-date egg, and cross, sulky or mirthful for reasons that no sane woman can understand. That is what the average wife has to reckon with. And if she intends to play the game, humiliating as some may think it is, he will loom largely on the horizon all her life. I hope she may find it worthwhile to take a few hints from an old hand, Blanche Ebou. That's very apt, I think. I think this makes a lot of sense. I think we're going to enjoy this a lot. Now, let me move on to the men. Blanche Ebou writes a letter to the men. My dear sir, you are neither as bad nor as good a fellow as you imagine yourself to be. No doubt you know a good deal about women, but if you are in the early years of your married life, but in brackets now goes, if you are in the early years of your married life, not nearly as much as you will in another decade. In any case, I hope that when you have read my little book, you will thank me for having told you many things that otherwise you could have learned only by experience, more or less bitter, according to the discretion exercised both by you and by your other half. Women, married or single, are cattle, and as for men, well, I have a husband myself. Blanche Ebou. I like her. Okay, so let's start. For the husbands, ladies, you can want to maybe get your men to sort of watch this part. Now, again, today I'll just do 3. Now, don't drop cigarette ash all over the drawing room carpet. The drawing room. This just sounds very old English, right? Some people will tell you that it improves the colors, but your wife won't care to try that recipe. Don't throw cigarette ends into the bowl of water your wife keeps in front of the gas fire. They are not ornamental, and she will not be pleased. Very old school. Now, let's not forget, it's 1913. Don't increase the necessary work of the house by leaving all your things lying about in different places. If you are not tidy by nature, at least be thoughtful for others. Let's go to number 2. Don't sit down to breakfast in your shirt sleeves in hot weather on the ground that only your wife is present. She's a woman like any other woman. The courtesies you give to womankind are her due, and she will appreciate them. Don't take it out on your poor wife every time you have a headache or a cold. It isn't her fault, and she has enough to do in nursing you without having to put up with ill humor into the bargain. Don't flourish a grimy handkerchief about because you've forgotten to take a clean one out of your box or your drawer. If your wife provides you with a reasonable stock, you might at least take the trouble to remember to use them. And finally, number 3, don't stoop even if your work is desk work. Your wife wants to see you straight and broad-chested. Don't be too grave and solemn. Raise a bit of fun in the home now and then. Don't keep all your best jokes for your men friends. Let your wife share them. Don't look at things solely from a man's point of view. Put yourself in your wife's place and see how you would like some of the things she has to put up with. I actually want to keep on going, but I won't. This is fantastic. I absolutely love these books. Let's start from the beginning, and I'm just breaking it down in layman's terms. Don't drop cigarette ashes. Don't throw cigarette ends into a bowl of water. That's just bad behavior. That's just gross. Don't increase the necessary work by leaving all your things all over the place. A lot of men do that. I've heard a lot of girls complain about that their guys just leave stuff all over the place. Like, really, seriously, like, it's ridiculous because they just sometimes just look at you like an employee that works for them that is just supposed to pick things up after them. That's absolutely ridiculous. Now, don't sit down to breakfast in your shirt sleeves. Of course, back in the day, they were probably always wearing morning coats and whatnot. But it's just, don't, come to the table in your pajamas maybe, or in tatty clothes, and, pay a little bit of respect to your wife. Yeah, and don't turn into a baby, which all you men do when it's, you have a cold or a headache. Oh, I'm not feeling well. It's like I can't do anything and all that stuff. Don't flourish a grimy handkerchief, please, for the love of God. Please, I beg of you. Take that handkerchief, hold on to it, put it in the laundry basket. Why must the handkerchief be all over the house? Because you have a cold. We get it. We really, really get it, okay? Then, let's see. Don't stoop, making sure your stature is always, you're always sitting nice and tall. And so, you seem attractive to your wife all the time. Everybody's got to work at this marriage thing. It's not just the wife that needs to look pretty all the time in her beautiful dresses or whatever it is that she's wearing, in her nice jeans and, in her nice tight jeans or her boyfriend jeans and her top. You must look sexy as well for her. Don't be too grave and solemn. Yeah, men do that. And raise a bit of fun in your home now and then, remind her why she was attracted to you, whether it was that you were witty or you were funny, whatever the situation may be. And tell a few dirty jokes. That's what this means. Don't keep all your best jokes for your men friends. Let your wife share them as well, so she can blush a little and be like, oh my God, my husband's so cheeky. Okay? Now, and try not to look at things solely from a man's point of view. Try to look at it from your wife's point of view as well. Or if you have a husband, from your husband's point of view, your partner's point of view. That's the way you should look at it. Okay? I love these. Okay? So that's it for today. Next week, Monday, we'll do it again. I promise. Okay? Because this is so much fun. Yes! The rules! Okay. Should I save this for the next episode? I don't want to go too far. In fact, I think I might. Because I've spoken about Okiki. I've spoken about these books today. So I'm going to save the rules and the game for the next Mamas and Babies episode, and that's going to come up next week, Monday. Alright, so watch out for it, and we'll definitely be on that. Alright, so I am Missy. This is Missy in the City, and I'm definitely looking forward to seeing you guys very soon. Fingers crossed, I'm going to be loading another vlog tomorrow, and that will be about home and decor. We could all use some tips, okay? We could all use some tips into how to turn our own little space into our own little space, basically. So let's just own it, and I shall see you tomorrow. Have a lovely evening, and take care of yourself. Bye.